Hello everyone, it's so good to see you all again. Welcome to my channel. My name is Richel Attafuah and I'm so excited to be beginning this intermediate Python series. I hope you're excited and I hope you did share the good news that the intermediate Python series has begun. So today is going to be the first video for the intermediate Python series. Today we'll be going into advanced functions and arguments, and I hope you guys learn a lot. And I'm going to take my time, walk through the video, and let me know if you have any questions. Please subscribe, and share. It motivates me and it helps me to keep making these videos for you guys, because this intermediate Python series video is not going to be a one-time show. It's going to be consistent for you guys to be able to keep track, to learn, and to be able to join along. So please just get your laptops, get your notebooks, and let's get ready. Let's get coding. Let's get diving. So guys, if you've not watched the beginner Python series, please close this video, go to the beginners Python series and kindly watch it, because you need to understand basic data types. You need to understand variables. You need to understand if statements, how to write loops, how to write simple basic functions, and all these topics, all of them guys, have been covered in the beginner Python series. So please do well to watch it. You can binge watch it. If you don't understand anything, you can reach out to me. I'm really ready to help you and walk through those lessons with you. So do well to watch it before you come to the intermediate Python series. So please go watch it and come back. I'm waiting for you. Are you still here? Go watch it, please. Okay. So today, what we'll be learning is we'll be understanding how to work with binding arguments, right? And explain what arguments are, what parameters are, explain how to use positional and keyword arguments confidently. So that is what this video is going to cover. The other learning goals will be unpacked in the part 2 of the next Python series video. I'm trying to make this video short so that you guys can be able to understand and kind of stick along with me. So the first thing I'm going to do is try to check which Python version you're using. So I'm going to run this pretty quick so that you guys know the version I'm using. So you can see here I'm using the version 3.1.2.7. So that's the Python version I'm using on my computer. So before we start, what then is binding? What am I talking about when I talk about binding? So I just want to talk about the fact that Python actually performs argument binding. So we need to understand what a parameter is and what an argument is when we are talking about Python, right? So first, parameters live in the function definition, and arguments are values that you pass, right? So I know it may not be really kind of working out, but stay with me. You're going to understand it pretty soon. So I'm going to use this example to dive deeper. So we see here that a parameter, right, has been defined. I explained how functions are defined, that they start with the keyword def to define, right? So we define a function greet that takes in the parameter name. So here name is a parameter and you're going to return hi with the name. What then is an argument? So if you're going to call the function greet, the argument is what you're going to have in the call. So here I say greet Richel. So Richel here is an argument, right? So the function greet receives, or the function greet takes in the parameter name, and what you assign to name or what you give to name when you're calling the function greet is the argument. I hope I'm not being gibberish and you guys understand. So I'm going to demonstrate this quickly with this simple Python code. So it's exactly the same code I had initially, but just to help you guys understand. So I'm going to run this. So I just ran this code and it says, hi, Richel. So name here is the argument. Sorry, name here is the parameter, right? Name here is the parameter and Richel here is the argument, right? So parameter, argument, definition, excellent. Now let's look at the difference between a positional and a keyword argument. So remember, argument is what you're going to actually put when you're calling the function. So keep that at the back of your mind as we move on to the next portion. So positional versus keyword argument. So what that is a positional argument? So you look at this very basic definition I have here. We pass by position, right? Left to right. So I'm going to define a function called add, which takes two different parameters, A and B, right? And what is going to return is A plus B. So then we pass in two arguments, 2 and 3, into the function add, right? So you realize that it's positional because when I define the function, I define the function taking in parameters A and B, and A comes before B. So that means that what you are returning is A plus B. We already know that addition is commutative, so you can kind of wrap it around. But Python doesn't know that, right? It just knows that it's by position. You're going to add A to B, right? So that is a positional argument. For keyword argument, you pass it by name, right? So that means I decide that, okay, add A should be equal to 2, B to be equal to 3. For positional argument, if I don't tell you A is 2 and B is 3, Python knows that, okay, you gave me 2, 3, and the positions are A, B. So A takes 2, B takes 3. And for keyword arguments, the order doesn't matter when you're using the name, because I can decide to say add B equals 3, A equals 2. So if we want to actually call these arguments by name, right? When you do that, it becomes keyword argument because you are passing them by name. You are calling the name. You're saying, oh, A should be 3, B should be 4, and you can swap them up. You can decide to bring B first before A. Order doesn't matter as far as you're using their names. So if you prefer to swap them up, remember to always use the names to let Python know, hey, I want A to be 3 and I want B to be 2. I hope we're working together. Excellent. So it's time to demonstrate just what I explained. You see here, sorry about that. You see here, I had define, add A, B, return A plus B. So the first print A, 2, 3. So it's going to just add 2, 3. And the second one, I kind of swap them up, but because I've added their names to it, the order doesn't matter. Python is still going to be able to work with it. So let's run this and see how this goes. Okay, so we're still going to get the same value, but Python understood. That is what I'm trying to kind of explain here. So now we are moving to the next stage. What do you think this is going to predict? Because we are saying define, introduce, first, last, and print last and first. So you can see here that by position, first is the first argument, right? The first parameter, right? You can mix it up, but you just have to be careful. Understanding is key. So first is like the first parameter, last is like the second parameter in the function introduce, right? So if I say introduce Ada Lovelace and I'm printing last and first, Python knows, oh, okay, last is the second argument, Lovelace. Ada is the first argument, so it's going to be Lovelace Ada. Or I can define it, introduce last equals Lovelace, first equals Ada, and it's still going to print Lovelace Ada. So I'm going to just copy this code block and put it in a code cell, and we are going to run this code block, and voila, Lovelace Ada for both situations, either using a keyword or a positional argument. So we are moving to the next stage. Just put in the comments if there's something you didn't understand. I'm so happy to redo and remake that section. So now we are going to look at default arguments and a famous gotcha. So yeah, what is a default argument? So a default argument is used only if the caller does not provide that argument. So what do I mean by that? So here we are defining a function power that takes base and exponent. But here we give exponent a default value of 2. So if you call the function power and you don't actually give an argument to your parameter exponent, it's going to automatically take the value 2, right? So that is like a very, very simple kind of like explanation to what I can say. So I'm going to explain with an example. So you see here, we are defining power. And as I mentioned, we are giving exponent, the parameter exponent, a default argument of 2. So if I call power and I just say power base 5, and because base is the first parameter, right? So if I give an argument of 5, it's to the first parameter base, right? So if I say print power 5, right, it's going to actually use the exponent 2 because it's supposed to return base. This 2 star is kind of like exponent, so 5 to the power of 2, right? Because we are defining the power, right? So that's a bit obvious. So it's going to be 5 to the power 2 because I forgot to actually put exponent as value for exponent here. So Python knows, oh, the default is 2. So that is what it's going to do. If I define 3, it's not going to use the 2, but it's going to use the 3 I define. So let's run it and see how that goes. Yep. So you can see 5 to the power 2 is 25. 5 to the power 3 is 125, right? So I hope that makes sense. But there's something we need to know about this kind of default functions or kind of giving default arguments. I'm going to explain that now. So one thing we need to know is that in Python, when default values are evaluated, right, Python defines the function, not each time you call it. What do I mean by that? When default functions are created and they are kind of like in immutable things, like we talked about immutable objects, talked about lists, right? So if you have something of that sort, it's going to keep adding up and it's not going to be like have just those individual arguments. It's going to have all the arguments that you could have. What do I mean by that? I'm going to explain with a very simple example. So I'm saying define our tag. So tags is the first parameter, the second one tags, and that second parameter takes in a list of objects. List is a very bad default. So you can actually give like arguments. You can actually kind of define default arguments. You can give parameters default arguments, but it's bad to give default arguments like mutable objects. It's bad to like define like a mutable object, like give it like a default value. So you can see lists are mutable, right? Lists are mutable. So it's really bad for you to define list as a mutable default, right? We've spoken about default arguments. You can't make a list a default argument. Why is that? Because when you do that, as you keep naming, so I'm saying add tag Python, right? It's going to, by the time I'm done running this code, I'm going to have a list with Python, intermediate, and video. But that's not what you asked for, right? You wanted to get just Python. You wanted to get just intermediate. You wanted to just get video after running each line of code. But instead, it's going to put it all together. Let's demonstrate it so you understand what I'm saying. So I'm going to run this code block. So as I'm explaining, you run this code and it's supposed to give you the argument that the user or whoever is using this function. But instead, it keeps what? It keeps appending and kind of putting everything together. Of course, append is supposed to put it up together, but that's not what we want. We wanted it to give us just that value or just that argument. We don't want to just give us Python, just give us a list containing only Python, give us a list containing only intermediate, give us a list containing only video, not put it all together, mash it up, give it to us. So that is what Python is doing here. So that is why it's really bad to use a list as a mutable default. So how do we fix it? Glad you asked. So let's get into it. How do we fix this? You might expect each call to start with a fresh empty list, but it didn't. I just demonstrated that. So how do we fix it? How do we fix this issue? Use none. We use none to be able to create a new list inside. So this is how it's going to follow. So we use none as a no value provided sentinel, right? So we say define our tags. The first parameter is tag. The second parameter tags, we're going to give it none. So the default you should give is none. Instead of actually, if you want to use a mutable default, always use none. Don't put like the mutable default there. So I'm going to demonstrate that. So this is good. This is actually good, right? You can see the difference between this and what we had is we put a none in there. right? So you kind of have to put an if statement in there. So if tag is none, tags an empty list, right? Then tags.append tag, right? And return tags. So you realize that this is going to give us what we want. A list just containing Python, a list just containing intermediate, and a list just containing video, just as we wanted it. So let's kind of run this. So you can see none solved our issue. So make sure you are never ever defining a mutable object or kind of giving a default to a mutable object. Be very careful about that. And if you want a refresher on what mutability or all this I'm saying is, please watch the beginners Python series video. I talked about which data types are mutable and which are not. So please do well to go watch it as you're enjoying this intermediate version. It's going to help everything sync and everything work together because there's an intentionality to make just the Python move to intermediate and move to what we have ahead of us. So this is going to be the last thing because I'm trying to keep the videos pretty short. As I said earlier, there's going to be a continuation of this. So when you're done with this, you can watch the next one. So I'm going to do a refresher of argument rules. This I'm going to dive deeper in the next video about positional, standard positional, args, quarks, keywords only. And don't worry, you don't need to memorize this. Just learn to read and understand it. And we'll build on this later. As I said, we're going to dive deeper into this later. I want the videos to be short so that you like it and you enjoy it. So do well to go over what I did. I'm going to attach the Python notebook in the description. Do well to go through it. And I have a Medium blog post just on this, going deeper, explaining more, which is going to be a good guide for you. Do well to read the Medium post. Do well to go through the GitHub, which contains this code along with me as I'm working. And if you have any questions, I have clarity calls. You can reach out to me. You can reach out to me on LinkedIn. You can reach out to me on Git. You can reach out to me even here in the comment section. And I'm so available and ready to help you. Thank you for staying to the end. I'm so happy. I'm so proud of you for watching this video to the end. So proud. Thank you for watching to the end. Thank you so much, guys, for your support and your love. Thank you so much for staying to the end. Just let me know your thoughts on everything. Put it in the comment section, guys. I love to read your comments. Put in the comment section whatever thing you didn't understand, whatever thing you think I should move on to the next. Just let me know. I'm open and available. And let me know your ideas when we are done with the intermediate Python series, what you like us to go and move on next. I'm really open to that. And please subscribe, share the link. That sounded funny, but do share the link. Please subscribe because it motivates me and helps me to keep making these videos. And I love to make these learning videos for you guys. And let me know if you want more of the relationship or the tech videos or the other conversational podcasts. I'm open to also make those, but I'm trying to kind of finish the intermediate Python videos before I bring in that. I'm also going to start recommending like books I read that is going to really help you guys on this journey of learning and understanding Python and programming. Thank you so much for staying to the end. I love you. I'm so grateful. And please do have a blessed and amazing weekend. Thank you.